Ball and Budge podcast video style. We are back for UFC 286 from the O2 Arena in London. We have Leon Edwards, the champion, versus Kamaru Usman in a welterweight bout. And as always, we have the star of the show, your favorite MMA, boxing, combat sports insider, UFC expert, Clubber D, the Combat G, drinking a little. It doesn't look like bourbon today. Let's find out what he is drinking on, my friend.
Well, before we get all that good stuff, I'm a little pissed off because I'm supposed to be in London. I had a ticket to be there on Wednesday. Danger Mouse and Paddington the Bear were about to pick me up from the airport, but I believe you spent the funds going to the Puerto Rico versus Dominican Republic World Series baseball. Was it World Classic, whatever? You went there, right?
World Baseball Classic, I did. It was sad. Edwin Diaz tore his patellar tendon celebrating.
Damn all that. But I'm supposed to be overseas, okay? I was supposed to be front row with Idris Elba because he had called me the other week. I was supposed to be an extra in Luther, the movie on Netflix, but I had sprained my big toe, so I couldn't go because remember I had the prosthetic toenail going on, but I couldn't get there. But that's besides the point. You know what I'm saying? We're back. We're back for UFC. We're back for fights. And is that a meat stick behind you? What is that?
Yes, we have to have our second official Slim Jim break later on in the episode, but thank you, Slim Jim, for the meat sticks. They are delicious.
Will you be eating a meat stick live on camera?
I can, if we'd like. That
Let's save that for our OnlyFans. Let's save that for OnlyFans. That's fine.
would be only.
We'll chill on that right now. How you doing, Omar? What's going on?
I'm great, my brother. As always, just trying to, recover and do all that good stuff. I should say what from, since people may not know. Anyways, doesn't really matter. I broke my leg. I don't mean recovering from like a hangover.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, we are good to go. It's been 6 weeks. I have my follow up on Tuesday for X-rays, so we'll see. But neither here nor there. Not important right now. So, what kind of tequila are you drinking on there, my brother?
Well, today's not sponsor is El Tesoro. If I can get it on camera correct, there you go. Añejo, because a lot of y'all people be out there being dusty, drinking Don Julio and Patron, acting like that's real good tequila, which is artificially flavored. It's not real good tequila. Drink the good stuff that's made the proper way, okay? Not this fresh Casamigos, fancy new state of the art, putting in fake flavors way. Go back to the essence, okay? Drink the shit how it's supposed to be drank, all right? And you won't be dusty, all right? Because some of y'all remind me of that person that would wait for that extra 25 cents when remember the surge machines back in the days, the soda machines. If you waited by next to that machine and asked people for their extra 25 cents, you're dusty. And to this day, I'll forgive you. But if you still act like that and drink the bullshit, then you're dusty. But yeah, let's talk about these fights. I don't want to get too into people because we got friends that are still dusty. I'm
Yeah,
dusty too, so I can't
I'm
talk
sure
too
there's
much.
a few of our friends right now watching this live show that are dusty sitting at home. We love you anyway, so thank you for the
I don't.
support. By the way, everyone, even if he doesn't, I do. By the way, please make sure you are sharing this on your social media. Have everyone come watch the live show. Send it out. Tell them to come join us as we are going to have all the fun. That being said, let us get into it. Today, we have the main event, which we'll get into in a little bit. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. But before we get there, the co-main is actually going to be a barn burner. We had the highlight, is what they call him, and I didn't know that till recently. Justin Gaethje
That's right.
versus Rafael, and I hope I'm not saying this incorrectly. I think it's Fiziev or something like that. But anyways, we expect some dick beaters to be thrown. My
Wow.
friend, what do you think? Pause.
Wow.
Wow. What do you think about this match?
Wow. Well, let's have a second for that word. Anyways, yeah. So this fight, you got one guy's Muay Thai style with Rafael. I'm not gonna say his last name because it's I'm gonna butcher it. And then you got Justin Gagey. Even though Justin Gagey is an All American wrestler, this guy can wrestle. He's Kamaru Usman's training partner. He likes to stand and bang. You know what I'm saying? He likes to throw those what beaters. And if you saw the Tony Ferguson fight, and you can hear each punch, each thud, that Tony Ferguson was questioning life after some of those punches. They just had this corner had to stop, had to throw the towel in. Okay, it reminded me of Rocky, but I mean, I never seen someone get their ass whooped that bad and still stay awake. I thought he was going to the shadow realm. I thought he was going to be hanging on the couch with Nate Robinson and Conor McGregor and like the rest. I thought he was be searching, put on the ring like Frodo and then disappear. But I thought his lights were going to be shut out. But he stayed awake. But it's just the punishment that man put on him was just ridiculous. And Gaethje, you look at his last 4 fights. He lost to Charles Oliveira. He fought Michael Chandler, which was a hell of a fight. I think it was unanimous decision he won. Lost to Khabib the Great, and then that Tony Ferguson fight. So his last 4 have been stiff competition. Rafael's never fought nobody like that. Okay, he's fought Dos Anjos, who he beat in the 5th round with strikes, but he's never fought level competition like Justin Gaethje. So, I mean, this is going to be a stand-up war. I don't see this thing going past 2 rounds, to be honest with you. Gaethje is 34. He's a little older, but I think he still has a lot left in him. So with that being said, if I was a betting man, remember, I'm not a betting man, okay? I'm not one, okay? Don't listen to me, all right? Do not spend your money that you asked your wife for that extra $20 because you didn't have it in your bank account. Don't spend your wife's money on what I say. But if you want to spend some of those shekels, okay, because some of y'all going to sleep with your wife's shirts on.
Shekels?
If y'all want to beg your wife for money and bet, I'm going to recommend, you know what I'm saying? I got Gaethje. We'll go third round stoppage. Not a KO, but a TKO, technical knockout, okay? 3rd round, Justin Gaethje. He's going to wear it. It's going to be a barn burn back and forth, but he's going to establish the leg kicks early. Bam!
Hold on a second, Mr. Clubbanger. First of all, how are you going to say that it's not going to go past 2 rounds and then predict the 3rd round victory?
You got to see, okay, Omar, you got to remember, I'm the after the fact king. So if I say one thing and something different happens, I was still right from Jump Street, okay? Because after the fact, I might say something like, hey, man, you know what? Look both ways when you cross the street. And then you don't do it. You get hit, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, hey, you know what? I told you should have ran. Don't look, just run. You know what I'm saying? So I tell bad advice all the time, so I'm never wrong. Don't listen to me. I'm Dusty. Even my analogies don't make sense.
So a 3rd round KO. Actually, for those watching live that may not be, MMA experts, can you explain the difference for us between a KO and a TKO? What is the difference there? Some people maybe.
So a technical knockout would be, the ref jumping in, stopping it, like, hey, whoa, and you just boom, 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 a bunch of C seniors. When someone gets hit, your head snapped back, it might say C senior, you know what I'm saying? Or they might bow, look like they're counting loose change on the ground while getting hit, but they could be awake still. So that's a technical knockout. A knockout is basically when you're in the shadow realm, when rigor mortis has set in and your body just goes limp. When you cannot respond, you are done. You are shadow realm. You're in Narnia, whatever you want to think about it. That's where you are. Your mind's there, but your body is here. So I don't think. Well, I'll leave that to the next fight. But someone's soul is leaving their body today.
And so, would a submission be considered a KO then, or is that just a separate entity?
No, it's just a submission.
All right.
Yeah, you're not getting knocked out. It's like saying, if you score on a Hail Mary and you score on a fade route, a fade's a fade, a Hail Mary's a Hail Mary, but you still score, you still win. So submission, you're still winning. They're tapping out. Technical knockout, you know what I'm saying, or knocked out, you're not tapping, you know what I'm saying? You're just out. You're out of it. So
now for Gaethje, we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this matchup, we're expecting it to be just a firestorm. They're just going to go in there and try to kick the shit out of each other with as many punches as possible. But Gaethje has twice challenged for the undisputed UFC lightweight title.
That's true.
He's always top ranked, but he has never been able to, get over the hump, so to say, to get to the top of the mountain. Is this what he needs to get back in contention for another lightweight title shot? And at the same time, if Fiziev wins, does he move up for a title shot?
So Gaethje, he's an interesting character. He's one of the guys. He came over from World Series of Fighting. He was a champ there. He only has 4 losses, and his 4 losses have only come in the UFC. And each person he's lost to has either been the interim champ or the champ. He lost to Khabib, he lost to Eddie Alvarez, he lost to Dustin Poirier, and he lost to Charles Oliveira. Besides the Charles Oliveira and Khabib fight, it's not like he's really gotten his ass whooped. He's been in each fight. So I would say with the age and the wear and tear on his body, because he's not afraid of getting hit. His
His
style
chin is
is
immaculate.
immaculate. Whoa,
Chin.
yeah, wow. By the way,
Applause.
that's twice. That's twice. But so yeah, he can withstand a lot of damage, but over time you start to get punch drunk and you can't take that anymore. It's like watching Roy Jones Jr. His last few fights as a professional. When Glenn Johnson sent him to the Shadow Realm to Neverland, after that it was kind of like, oh, it was sad to see, but your body can take but so much before it starts to let you know I can't take that much damage anymore. So I think Gaethje still has a little left still in him. I can't even speak. Little left still in him. Tongue twister. Your wife likes it, but so I think I'll go with Gaethje for sure, 100%.
Gaethje in the third round. That is your club
I thought I said
banger.
second round. It don't matter. It
Don't
don't matter.
confuse the audience like that because you really did. You really were like, well, I just can't see this going past the second round. And
We don't have to talk
2
about old
minutes
stuff.
later,
We don't have to talk about old stuff, okay? We're progressive. We're moving forward in life. We don't have to talk about old stuff, all right? I'm the after the fact king, okay?
all
Jeez.
right. So third round, and you said TKO or KO? You said KO, right?
Yeah, I think he'd be sleeping.
Either way, it's going to be a Barberena. So, all right, cool. Well, then, now we are at our halfway point of our UFC card matchup breakdown. So we are going to have our official Slim Jim break. Shout out to all the Slim Jimmers out there. Grab your Slim Jim, think an unwrapping of it, and then just
Oh my God. Teeth to meat.
snap into a Slim Jim,
That that
brother. Oh,
that
wait,
was that was teeth to meat right there. That was straight teeth to meat. I don't I
oh,
don't
it's teeth to meat.
I don't know what's going on over there. We usually unwrap like so. I mean, I know a couple people that could take the meat out without opening a wrapper. I know some people that could take a banana out without touching the peel. But we're not going to talk about that. That's another day, another time. Okay, I don't judge. It is what it is.
Teeth to meat.
Teeth to meat.
That represents that thought that I met at Bar Louie that night, Christmas Eve. You remember? You were there.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, she had teeth. Let me stop.
Like,
Let me stop.
I
Let me
heard,
stop
I heard
talking
you got
about.
caught in your zipper that day. But anyways,
It was like a old diamond on clutch type trick. Let me stop. Let me stop. All right, we're
I'm just
done.
glad I showed up and I was there.
I promise we're done. I promise. We're just joking around. We're trying to give y'all a good time. Thank you again for joining in, everybody. We are UFC 286 live show. We just went over the co-main. Now, we are going to hit the main event, what they all came for, the Welterweight Championship of the world. Leon Edwards, the current champion, who Clubber D has some really amazing stats on that I didn't know. But anyways, Leon Edwards knocked out Kamaru Usman in the fifth round. It was a surprise knockout. Head kick, crazy. Anyways, I'll let Clubber D get into that. But Clubber D, a lot of people think that Leon is obviously a paper champ. He doesn't really deserve this. Even people in London, I'm hearing from Billy Body says that they're not even backing him there. So, what is your take on this fight?
Well, I think the reason why a lot of folks in London, this is just me speculating because I was going to be out there because Lance Lewis had invited me over. Him and Prince Nassim Hamed, we're going to play pickleball together, but I didn't go because of you. But anyways, so the issue I think with Leon Edwards, where a lot of folks in London or in Great Britain don't like him as much. One is because he's really Jamaican. He was born in Jamaica. A lot of Jamaican folks go to London. A lot of just like Africans and Pakistani folks go
I
into
didn't know
London.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
he spent the first 9 years of his life in Jamaica. So that's why he's always repping the Jamaican flag and whatnot. So they got a lot of people, transplants from Jamaica in London and England and whatnot.
and a
So
lot of racists.
whenever there's mayonnaise, there's racist. So you got to understand. So Leon Edwards he's an interesting character because he's in his last 11 fights, he's won 10 of them. He's been on a tear. He only has
That's
one no
crazy.
contest.
I can't believe when you told me that.
That's right. But it's been under the radar because some of the competition, he's most known for getting three-piece in soda by Jorge Masvidal when Masvidal fought overseas, in London when he knocked out Darren Till, and then they got into it with Leon Edwards. But the notable people, besides knocking out Usman, he's fought Nate Diaz, unanimous decision. Beat down Cerrone, beat Rafael Dos those Anjos. He beat him, but that's like besides Usman, there's no real marquee people. He's fought. Um, my thing with him, with this whole fight, is most of his interviews and the look on his face, it's very nervous. He looks like he's there, but he's not there. Like
Like
doesn't
he's
want to
not
talk.
confident in
He's
himself.
not confident in himself. Like Usman even said it at the at the press conference. He was like, your own corner was saying, "You're getting bullied. You're getting bullied. You're getting bullied."
Yes.
He broke his will. That last fight, Usman was dog walking him until 409 in the fifth round. You know what I'm saying? Just like the multi-purpose cleaner, we were cleaning Usman up off the mat. You know what I'm saying? Because we got hit. It looked like he got electrocuted because he went down like he got electrocuted and he was shocked and he had that look on his face like, oh shit, I'm late for work. Like the look that on his face when he got knocked out and he was stuck like that was like when you miss the alarm, you wake up, you're like, that's how he looked with his fingers being stiff. So rigor mortis had already set in. But let's look at Usman for a second. This man is 15-1 in the UFC. This guy's only had 2 losses. I think he lost his second or third fight, becoming a professional, which was submission, and then he went on a tear. Winning 15 straight. I mean, I'm sorry, not 15 straight, but 15. He's won 15 straight in UFC. And 5 title defenses. He's beaten Colby Covington twice. Fought Tyron Woodley, beat him. Beat Gilbert Burns. Beat Jorge Masvidal, knocked him into the shadow realm. The second fight. I mean, all the sweat that went off Jorge Masvidal's head and face, that was his soul leaving his body because he fell down and he had to look too when he woke up like, where am I? Just like that. So I think my problem with him in the first fight, like I said, he was dog walking Leon Edwards. I think he had 3 of the 4 rounds, or probably all 4 rounds. He's a wrestler. He's a great wrestler. And he wanted to stand up and he got lazy. And Leon Edwards did the fake look down and boom, kicked him upside his head, and the rest is history. So Leon Edwards, I saw the thing. He seemed confident, but he was talking a little shit. And then when they got face to face, he started talking more shit. Crowd was behind him a little bit. So I'm wondering, will Leon Edwards go in overconfident and forget that he was dog walked the last 4 rounds and then just got the lucky shot? Because remember, this is the third fight. The first fight, same thing. Russell takedown, got beat. So
now, before you go on, do you think that opposite could happen? Do you think that Usman coming in could be too reckless, trying to get his championship back?
And that's so. Usman's been kind of quiet leading up to this. He hasn't been real brass. You look at Israel Sanya when he fought Barberena. He was like, "Oh yeah, this is destiny. I could do this." Shut up. They had him doing the little Kim dance in the corner last round when he got knocked out. So Usman, leading up to the fight against Leon Edwards, I think he took him for granted because remember, he was showing up to Canelo's fight with his shirt off, talking about, I want to box Canelo. Sit your ass. You can't even. Canelo would not. He knocked the spear out of his hand. But so yeah, the spear. He's Africa. He's the man though. But I'm not hating too much, but I am. So he was doing that. He was also in what was he in? He was in Black Panther Part 2.
No, it wasn't. Was he really?
Yeah, he was in that.
I haven't seen it. I'm not gonna lie.
I can say no, he wasn't.
No, I was like,
no, I know. I'm messing with you. So yeah, so he was doing all this stuff before the Leon Edwards fight, and he was also, I might retire as the best ever, all that. So I think this was just he was winning all 4 rounds, and then he kind of got humbled. So
and so let's talk about that for a second. Let's dissect that though. So Usman, do you believe he's clearly the better fighter, and do you believe that what he did last time, and if he takes a methodical approach to this fight, that he can do the same thing, and as long as he can watch out, for a surprise head kick, which, come on now, none of us expected that.
Nobody saw
that. The 5th round, we all had Usman as retaining the championship. So again, do you see that he can get back to his ways, or do you think that he is confused enough from what happened last time that maybe he's going to be a little shy and standoffish and might take a kick that might put him out?
I think what he's going to do, he's going to go back to his bread and butter. He's going to take him down, and I think he might stand up a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be reckless. I think he's going to take him down, and it might be a boring fight to most, but I honestly think that he's going to take him down, and he's going to take him to the deep waters. He's going to punish that man, okay? Because Leon Edwards cannot touch
His
him when it
takedown
comes to
defense
wrestling.
is very suspect, right?
Yeah, he can. Usman had his way with him as far as taking him down when he wanted to. So Usman, he's going to win. I'm thinking it's going to be decision, but it's going to be a caveat on this. All right, don't be shocked that Usman knocks him out early, because I think he might catch him. But the way I feel, my heart of hearts, I think that Usman will win a unanimous decision. Edwards might get one round, but it'll be 4-1. Usman, he will become champion again for the second time. Now,
So
how long will he fight? Who knows? Because his knees are pretty bad from all those years of wrestling, and he is 35 years old. So, but I think Usman's gonna take this, and the crowd will be quiet.
club banger. And so, okay, so let's say that happens. How old is Usman again? You said 35?
He's 35, yeah.
Okay, so he's 35. That means, let's say he goes another couple years. Leon Edwards is
31.
31, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's younger. Do you believe that Leon Edwards is a paper champion, or do you think that he can come back and eventually take the title when Usman starts to fade off?
Well, the term paper champion, to me, it depends on the situation when you say paper champion. Like in boxing, when Lomachenko didn't want to fight Devin Haney, so they made the franchise belt for WBC. He got that, and Devin Haney got the real champion, the real belt. I'm sorry. So they were like, Devin Haney's an internet champion, yada yada. It's not his fault. You don't want to fight him. Canelo Alvarez did that to I think it was Jamal. What was it, Jamal? One of the Charlos. He didn't want to fight him, so they made him franchise champion, so he didn't have to fight him. So to me, in Haney's situation, that's kind of a paper champion, but Edwards knocked him out. So it's not like Usman got robbed. It's not like he beat somebody because it's not like John Jones beat Cyril Gane. We all know Francis Ngannou is the real champion. So technically, you can say John Jones is the paper champion because he didn't beat the champion.
Yeah.
So, but Edwards, he put that shin upside Usman's head, and he was thinking about Black Panther Part 3 if he's going to be in that. So
What? No,
he was out of here. He wasn't even thinking about nothing. And yeah, he thought he was part of the Avengers or something like that. So it happens.
I can't. Speaking of, I do have a question for you because I was thinking about this during the week, and I was like, I wonder what he would say to this. Now, this is a spot-on question. Barberena does not know that I'm even going to ask this because I'm just saying he brought it up. John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. We may never see this.
No, probably not.
Who do you think would win in this fantasy matchup? Ooh,
so I can't bet against John Jones anymore. I'm done saying that he'll lose because there's been times I felt a lot of people thought he lost and he still won. I honestly think that Francis Ngannou would win, but for sake of me not eating my words, even though I am the after the fact king, I'll say John Jones will win.
Okay.
But Francis Ngannou, he doesn't know how to wrestle, but training with Usman helped him against Cyril Gane, and he took Gane down. But that's not saying much after Jones took him down in 2 seconds and did what he had to do. Like Gane acted like he never scrambled in it before in his life.
Ever.
It was embarrassing. I haven't seen that lack of grappling since I was 14, and I was with someone's mom. So I haven't seen any of that. But it was pretty embarrassing the way Gane just submitted like that. Just didn't fight at all. I think if Jones did that to Francis Ngannou, he's strong enough to be able to push him off. It's like if he fought Brock Lesnar. That wouldn't work against Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar used to cut weight to get down to 265. He'd go around and fight day 280, 290. John Jones at his full whatever, he's like 248, 250 something.
Yeah.
That's a lot of size to be
and Ngannou's built like a damn brick house. He's like muscle on top of muscle.
That man is a full, like he cuts down to get to 265 and he's all muscle. So think about it. You might be fight day 270, 280, all muscle and he's fast as hell.
It's like
So
the Thing. It's like you're fighting the
yeah,
Thing.
it reminded me of me back in 1984 because I used to do all that stuff in the underground Chitlin Circuit Negro League, but we had cut it down because we weren't getting the funding. You know what I'm saying? Because Don
Was
King
that
paid.
during your time as Jerry Curl John, or was that after?
That was around Jericho John. It was around a transition because me and I was Carl Weathers' stunt double in Rocky 2 and in Action Jackson. People don't know. Just saying. Ask your mom. She'll tell you about it.
That's my mom.
Yeah,
My
she'll tell
mom
you.
is actually in the next room. You just talked to her.
Oh,
So.
Jesus Christ.
My mom is really here. It's funny. Her and Deanna friends. Oh, whoa! Pause on the tequila and what I just said. Pause, pause,
Would you
pause.
say?
Yeah, I'm glad you missed it.
Oh, I
Probably
missed it.
everybody else did. Good. Anyways, great transition though, and great segue. You did mention boxing,
Yeah.
Lomachenko and Haney. Before we get into that though, since you did mention Ngannou, the rumors are now that he is in line to possibly fight Tyson Fury and a whole bunch of other people. Do you know anything on any updates of what Ngannou is planning on doing? I know he also was possibly talking to other MMA organizations. So
Well, I know Scott Coker would love to have him Bellator because they need help with their heavyweight division. And I'm trying to think of the champion. He was in the UFC. He was a 205 contender in the UFC, then switched over. He'll come to me later. But they need help, but there's not really a competition over in Bellator for Ngannou unless he wants the money because they get paid a lot more over there because they can have sponsors on their shorts and whatnot. Um,
Ryan
Wow.
Bader,
Huh?
Ryan Bader.
Ryan Bader, there you go. That's him. Yeah, Ryan Darth Bader. So he would get knocked into Neverland if he messed with Ngannou. So that just wouldn't even be a fight. So Deontay Wilder, who technically has left PBC, I believe he has.
Whoa!
Yeah, because he's supposed to fight Andrew Ruiz, but I think he turned it down, or there's been complication with that. And Andrew Ruiz has left PBC also.
Wait a
He has,
second. Are you about to tell the live crowd watching?
I
So
I
I
got
think you're.
I have people in Cameroon and I got people in Alabama for on both parties. Okay, so I know a little bit about a little bit, but Wilder's already put out this you can Google this is knowledge. He's already said that he would fight Francis Ngannou MMA and in boxing a 2-fight deal. So they're already talking about doing that.
Wow.
So I would love to see that. I would definitely be there for that. Now who would win? We could talk about that later, but yeah, it's already Tyson Fury. He was at the Fury, and I think Dillian White fight. Francis Ngannou got in the ring. Was talk about face to face, whatnot. But Fury and Usyk. They possibly could be fighting at the end of April. It depends if Fury agrees to what Usyk's saying and vice versa. Like Fury's being a little bitch about it. I hate to say it. I love the man, but
Wait, what do you mean? What's happening?
he wants 70-30 split.
Hmm.
He wants Usyk's like, all right, he calls him greedy belly. He's like, greedy belly.
Greedy belly.
Now it's a rematch clause they're talking about throwing in there. And I don't think they want to do a rematch clause. So there's a lot of behind the scenes crap, kind of like Davis and Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
People are pump fake and say, yeah, do this. Okay, I'll agree, but then I want that. Or I'll agree, but then I want this.
I'm glad you brought that up real
Fight.
quick.
Okay, God, dog.
So they were supposed to fight when? April 22nd, right? Or something like that?
You talk about
Garcia and Davis.
yeah, I think it is the 22nd. I think so.
But they have no venue yet. Does that happen often in boxing?
No. I think they did secure a venue in LA. I could be wrong, but no, because when you don't have a venue, that means not everything's legit. Okay, not everything's all together. Steven Espinoza, who works for Showtime, he used to run HBO's boxing. He's already talking about, well, we're not having all the fights now because of piracy. That's bullshit because
Get
the
the
UFC still puts up big numbers for their UFC cards. Okay, people are still getting it. It's just that when you're boxing, you got to pay. You have to pay Comcast. You got to pay Spectrum. All these other entities that are showing your pay per view. UFC is like, no, you want to watch us? You go through ESPN. I don't want to hear about it. So boxing's having that issue, but it's because they're waiting so long to put on good fights. Don't nobody want to see Tank Davis against Johnny Joe Johnson and that be on pay-per-view? Ain't nobody watching that. Ain't nobody gonna watch. Like, are you kidding me?
Not the
They got
Triple
Tank
J.
fighting. bums. Tank sells out the arena, but his pay-per-view numbers are trash. Ryan Garcia, he sells out, but his numbers on the zone aren't that great, So why are they acting like this is like the biggest fight in history when they should be promoting Plant versus Benavidez, which has been phenomenal? And Caleb Plant down in Nashville, where you are, he did the biggest trolling move I've ever seen in my life. He bought the rights to DavidBenavidez.com. So
No!
if you go on that site, all Caleb Plant stuff, which is phenomenal. That is the best trolling. I haven't seen nothing like that since Bernard Hopkins threw beans and rice at Felix Trinidad at the press conference. I haven't seen something of that level since then. So they should be promoting stuff like that. Do like Floyd Mayweather started 24/7. Start doing that to build fights so the common person will watch the fight. You'll get more pay-per-view buys. I told you, you want Sally buying sushi at Wegmans on Tuesdays to talk about this. You want Margaret going to Whole Foods buying leg quarters to talk about this on a Thursday night. They're not going to watch. They're not going to be talking about this if you don't put it out to the common folks. Okay, only the hardcores and people that have backstage passes like myself, because I was there at the last fight. I was going to be walking down, but I remember I hurt my toe, so I didn't want to walk out there. I also didn't shave my head. I was looking like Carl Winslow.
Have you seen the new commercials with him?
Yeah, I saw those. I like those sweaters.
Oh man, last time we talked about. Wow, I just looked up the DavidBenavidez.com. You've got to be kidding me. Hold on a second. Wait a second. Hold on.
So that's the thing. Like, if you're going to troll somebody, do it at that level and build. You could build a fight with that. Okay, like if you want to build a fight, you could have had a. Yeah,
look at this.
It's up there. How does that look?
Y'all, this is listen to what Clubber D is saying. The website is davidbenavidez.com, as you can see at the URL, and it is all his opponents selling his merch. I didn't even know he had merch.
Yes. That is how you beef online and do it correctly. All right. They don't like each other. They've already fought or got into it, at the boxing gym. This is a long-standing beef. Okay. So this is perfect for TV. This should be promoted, but no one's talking about it. And this fight's next week. So nobody's talking about this fight. It's ridiculous.
Lunchbox Larry in the YouTube comments said, Margaret at Wegmans? Question mark?
I know Lunchbox Larry. That's my homie right there. We go way back. I know him since 1993. We were both overseas. We were at a school for making chopsticks. And I was having my own signature line of chopsticks coming out.
Oh my
I had
God.
stopped because I hurt my finger. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Larry.
What? A chopstick school? I don't even think that exists. Is that a thing? They probably do have that, actually. All right. So, all right, we have Benavidez, we have Plant, we've talked Garcia, we have talked Davis. Now let's move on to Lomachenko and Haney. I know you have some news in that round.
So the rumor was supposedly, and I got this from Goodfellas Sports TV. CJ, he has good content online. Y'all should check him out. But they're saying May 20th, which is kind of like what I said before, where Lomachenko, they were basically going over when we should fight. Haney was trying to do it early because he's Muslim. He does Ramadan. Ramadan starts, I believe, on Tuesday or Wednesday. So you're making him train during Ramadan, and then he's going to fight May 20th.
Knowing that they got to fast and stuff.
Yeah, he's going to fast during the day. And at night when they break fast, you can eat and whatnot. So
and now, hold
train at night.
I think we've talked about this before, and I think you've told me that this is a tactic that some fighters will use when Ramadan or other religious holidays are coming up, and they'll try to fight the fighter like around.
Yeah, they try to do that. Try to, it's similar to the way Mayweather tried to do Pacquiao, or Spence is trying to do Bud Crawford and age them out.
Mm-hmm.
You can age somebody out. You can, try to fight around a certain holiday because you know that they might not be at the tip-top shape that they normally are. But Haney's he's a big kid. This guy's still young, but he's undisputed champion at 135. Lomachenko's a little older than the two. So Haney already says that he's moving up to 140 pretty soon. So me just thinking, why would I want him already to be kind of slimmer or skinnier because he's fasting while training? and then I'm going to fight him around that time. Why don't you get him during the normal time when he's struggling to make weight? Now he's already going to be kind of fasting and not taking in as much nutrients or hell, even
Calories.
fat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Calories. So Lomachenko, to me, I like the guy, but when he ducked Haney back in the day and said that he didn't want to fight him and made it the franchise belt or whatever, and gave up his physical belt, I kind of lost respect for him. I just, I don't like that. And I know he got drafted. He was in the war in Ukraine and doing all that stuff, and I respect him for that, fighting for his country. But when it comes to boxing, doing that shady shit, nah, bro. Come on, man. You
Now
better.
he got old really quick though, didn't
Yeah.
he? Because I remember we used to talk about him like he was the man, and he was at one point in time. He made people quit in their chair. I remember. Um,
No mas
but
Lomachenko.
yeah, no, exactly, yeah. So, do you think that's the thing? Do you think that he's just too old now and he's just losing his skill, or what do you
Well, you
think
got to
it is?
understand, Lomachenko's a two-time gold medalist and for the Olympics, and a lot of these guys have a crazy amateur career. He got into boxing a little late. This guy fought for a belt. I believe his first fight. I think he lost his first fight, which is debatable. But he came in with a lot of attention coming into the sport, but he came in at an older age. It's kind of like some of these guys that are great jiu-jitsu fighters or Muay Thai fighters, and they come over to MMA like a Kung Lee or somebody like that, and they have a high,
Watch your mouth.
Kung Lee, that's his name. How dare you? How dare you? But how dare you? But anyways, so yeah, it's one of those things where Lomo came in with all this hype. He was a good fighter, but I think I want to say his mid-20s or late 20s when he got his,
So
you
he was
know,
already in his prime when
yeah, he was
people
already
got
kind of
started.
there. So it's one, you can stay amateur and win, but you gotta, boxing is one of those things where you have to strike
In the
when the
iron
fire is
box.
hot. Is the fire hot? Is that
The
what you said?
iron. The iron. The iron.
Oh, okay. Some of y'all dusty folks don't even iron your clothes
It
anymore.
doesn't. That's what that saying is from like the 1500s. Who cares? We don't have blacksmiths anymore. What is that? It's not a thing. Do we have?
I know a black guy whose last name is Smith, but
We're so stupid.
yeah. So it's like it's one of those things where Lomachenko, he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good, very good fighter, but I just don't got him winning against Haney.
Yeah.
Lomachenko's last fight was a little close. It was close. So a
Okay.
lot of people get
So
old quick.
yeah, yeah. No, that sport will make you old and humble you very, very quick. Okay. Cool. So we've covered that. Is there any other MMA boxing news? I know you had a couple other stories you might want to talk about.
Well, boxing, yeah, Costa Zoo, the great Costa Zoo's son beat
Ooh, Oscar Zoo. That name is
yeah,
old.
his son Tim Zoo beat Tony Harrison last week in Australia. I was actually at the fight. Because I go down there and train some Joey sometimes, and so what happened was he beat the snot out of him from the first round to the ninth. I mean, it was bad. Like the ref,
Wait, how old are we? And how
huh?
old is he? How old are we? And how old is he? 'Cause
Well, I mean, some of us don't age, but his son Costa was, I mean, that was back. I
wasn't
mean,
it?
this is mid-90s, so
Okay.
his son was already his little rat tail and everything. But
Okay.
yeah, he stopped Tony Harrison. He's supposed to fight Charlo for the undisputed at 154, but Charlo had hurt his hand, so he fought Tony Harrison as an eliminator for WBO. I mean, it was bad. He beat the brakes, rotors, starter, ignition. He beat all that off. It was bad. Like he dog walked him. That ninth round, they should have stopped it. It went on for a little while, and Tony Harrison, like I said, he's 32. His body's just not responding. You know what I'm saying? It's not registering. He's not moving as quick as he wants to. So uh, he's supposed to fight. He's supposed to fight Charlo next. So we'll see if that happens. But as far as boxing goes, his brother, just Jamel and Jamal. I forgot which one was the older one, but the 160 pound WBC champ who hasn't fought in 2 years, and people are getting annoyed with him because you ain't fighting nobody. You're just sitting there. And I don't understand. This is the corruption in boxing. Why don't you strip these guys if they don't want to fight? You know what I'm saying? Like strip the belts, take the belts from them if they don't want to fight. He is supposed to be. He could be. It might not happen, but Triple G has let go of the IBF and WBA belts he had. He was a unified champion at 160. Let those belts go, and now all of a sudden he's the number one contender for Charlo on WBC. How that happens, I don't know. Why wouldn't you fight him and try to get all the belts? I don't know.
Now that's middleweight. Is Arizlandi Lada
Lara,
is the
yeah.
champion for WBA, right?
So he was the, see, remember how I said that Tank was the interim champion.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So a lot of the WBA has an interim champion, which is basically number one contender. Tank should already be fighting. He's already fighting Devin Haney for it because he's WBA 135 champ. So that means you are the mandatory for the champion.
Got it.
But a lot of people do duck moves and be like, belts mean nothing. Let me fight somebody else. So Lara has been ducked forever, and Triple G didn't want that smoke, so take the belt. So now he's champion, kind of like Ordanis Ugas, who was the regular WBA champion, fought Pacquiao, got the super belt, and then that's why he fought Earl Spence. So yeah, the regular champion, it's basically number one contender. You're supposed to fight the super champion, but people like to duck and not fight their number one contender. So it's one of those things. But how do you get dog walked by Canelo? And Canelo didn't even look good in that fight against when Triple G fought him at 168, and now he's moved back down to 160. Gives up 2 belts just to fight a champion at one, just to fight the other champion who's a WBA belt holder. It makes
and then Canelo got humbled by Beeble. So
yeah, he's fighting John Ryder next on my birthday weekend.
Who?
Exactly. Who?
Conan.
Just like everybody in our group chat who be posting updates about football players no one cares about. John Johnson signing with the Chiefs. Who? I'll post that shit. I don't care. But yeah, so he's fighting John Ryder. You're holding up the 168-pound division. You're holding that up, Canelo. You got all the belts. Why are you fighting this guy? You got Benavidez you're not want to fight. You beat Caleb Plant. I get that. Charlo wants to move up and fight you. You fight John Ryder. Get out of here with this stuff, man. I don't. Canelo has made it the last 5 years. Canelo has done his thing with fighting these Europeans. I don't know what it is about fighting all these Europeans, but he's been making a mark for fighting these Europeans and avoiding some of these young killers around here. I get your Canelo Alvarez. I get it, but come on, bro. Come on. You put a 10-pound rehydration clause against Rocky Fielding. Who's Rocky Fielding? You put a 10 who? You put a 10-pound rehydration clause? Come on, bro. Man, come on. Stop. No, I can't. You get my blood is boiling now thinking about this. I can't do it.
No, I'm sorry. I never would have thought I would have heard Canelo Alvarez versus John Ryder, which is
exactly
like the John Smith's cousin. Who is that?
He sounds like an extra off of Yellowstone or Justified back in the day. John Ryder. He sounds like the guy back in wrestling that would already be in a ring who the Ultimate Warrior will fight. He's like a step. He's like below like Barty Jannetty type jobber type stuff. I mean,
he sounds like an out of work bounty hunter, John Ryder. He's like the low budget John Wick. John
Never seen one movie. Don't at me.
Me either.
Don't at me.
Me either. I don't care. Keanu Reeves, I love you, but you're old. And the last thing you did
was actor, but
Matrix. Hey, the Matrix movies were good. And
did you see the last one? That last one was awful.
I did not. But you can't front. What was the bus movie? You can't front on the bus movie. Speed.
Then they made a part 2, which was terrible.
I didn't even know there was part 2. Y'all.
Step above an HBO original.
Well, now they have all these Netflix originals, which are just horrible.
Some are all right. We'll see.
Some are okay. I'll give you that. Some are okay. All right, Clubber D, the Combat G, my friend. Do you have any other news for the folks today?
That's pretty much it for today. I will say, the last 2 fights melatonin awards will be given out. Okay, somebody's going to sleep. Not technical knockout. Somebody is going to sleep. Okay, you can book that.
Now, by the way, Nature Made. I know that with inflation up around the world, and especially in the United States, a lot of people are going store brand bought products. So, Nature Made, if you want your name out there, you come holler at Clubber D and I, and we'll get your melatonin sold like none other.
Speaking of store brand stuff or low budget, like a Dr. Thunder, we have a mutual friend. I'm not gonna say his name, but Snail knows who he is.
Snail.
This guy thrives on Dr. Thunder, Mountain Lightning, whatever, great value and respect to that stuff. But don't ever fix your tongue to say that great values nutty bars are better than a regular nutty bars. Okay, let's be clear. All right, I respect all the store brand stuff, but let's not act like Shasta is Pepsi. Okay, let's just Let's keep it 100, all right? Let's keep it 100.
The blasphemy. Clubber D, the Combat G, yours truly, the Street Professor. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead and share this all over your social media. Whoever shares the most will get an autographed Clubber D t-shirt. It's going to be a white, tattered undergarment that he's like.
First of all, there's no need to autograph anything because I leave my drawers in my CPAP machine at their mom's house. So they know I'm there. And like I said, when I come back, my distilled water level better be at that second mark. All right, need to distill second mark when I'm there, and clean my hoses while I'm gone.
Let me see that shirt before we get out of here. That's good.
Oh, it's just a little, just a Kobe and Jordan, you know.
Oh, I like it. That's nice. And by the way, go UCLA. Bruins all the way. Let's go. March Madness we didn't talk about, but there you go. There's your prediction. UCLA all day. Clubber D, the Combat G, Street Professor. We love you. See you in a couple weeks for UFC 287. We are out.
Peace. Don't be dusty.